So, Tom, a couple of weeks out from your third UFC fight, you'll be facing Andrei Arlovski on the 20th of February. How has camp been so far?
Camp's been camp. Just camps are not easy, mate. They're not easy. Like I love martial arts, mate. Like that's my thing that I like doing in my life. But like training regular and a training camp are two like different things. So yeah, just a lot of smashing my body up, really. A lot of hard work, a lot of yeah. It's just that. That's what it is. It's just you're tired, and you've got to go and do it again and again and again and again for weeks. So yeah, it's hard work, but coming to the end, so that's good.
Yeah, 100%. And let's just quickly touch on your UFC career so far. So 2 fights in 2020, which lasted a total of 2 minutes and 20 seconds. First round knockouts over Jake Collier and Alan Bordeaux. Can I ask, did you think that the early part of your UFC career would have gone as well as it has?
Yeah, I did, to be honest. Yeah. I mean, if I thought it wasn't going to go well, then I wouldn't have took the offer of contract from the UFC. So, yeah, I mean, I think you've got to think that you're going to do good. I mean, you've got to be realistic. Anything can happen in there. You can lose and you can get knocked out, and you can get submitted, and you can get tired, and all the other shit stuff that can happen to you. But I think first and foremost, you've got to think that you're going to do well. Otherwise, what's the point in doing it?
What I meant by that was 2 extremely fast knockouts. Yeah,
well, it's the heavyweight division, so we hit pretty hard. So, and I'm a good finisher. I'm not like I'm not bigging myself up. I'm honest. I'm one of the best finishers in the game, I believe. So, if you're going to get put in a dangerous spot, then I'm going to finish you.
Yeah, and let's talk. Just these 2 fights were both on UFC Fight Island. What was that experience like for you?
It was really good. I liked it. It's pretty weird experience, but everything's weird at the moment, isn't it? It's like, yeah, you're just in a hotel waiting to fight basically for 2 weeks, or however long it is, nearly 2 weeks. You just sat around waiting to fight. So, you know what? That hotel and the hospitality over there is unbelievable. The best hotel I've ever been to. So, yeah, it was good. I can't complain about it. It was a good time.
I'm not sure if you're someone, I know it's not really well documented. I'm not sure if you're someone who gets particularly nervous before fights, but that thing about waiting around, do the nerves play an extra factor because you've got, time spare?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can openly tell you that I get nervous before fights. I've got no issue. And I think that anyone who says otherwise is either lying or they're just weird. One of the two. Because it is scary fighting someone. Yeah. And yeah, it's tough because you're in a pretty big hotel over there. Like, it's a decent sized hotel, but the only people who are in there are UFC people, basically. So like 24 hours a day, you are surrounded by fighters and coaches, essentially, and people who work for the UFC. So even though it's like an unbelievable hotel, it's got a nice pool area, it's got nice restaurants in and all that stuff. You still can't help but think about your fight most of the day. Your mind will drift for 5 minutes and then you just got to pull it. Like, you just get pulled back. Like, people keep saying, it must be brilliant, like, to go to that. Don't get me wrong, mate, it's good, but it's definitely not a holiday bumping into your opponent every 5 minutes and reminded that you have to have a fight on Saturday. You know what I mean? So it's not, you see the pictures and the videos and you think, it's brilliant, but when you got to fight someone at the end of the week in front of millions of people, it's not all that relaxing.
Yeah, I'm sure it isn't. Now, let's move a little bit from past to present. So, as we mentioned, on the 20th of February, you will face Andrei Arlovski, former UFC heavyweight champion. What is your opinion of Arlovski at this stage of his career?
I think he's still good, obviously, because he's still beating prospects.
Yes.
And yeah, I think he's still got it. I think he's definitely still got it. His career has been like very up and down from what I can tell anyway. So on the minute he's on an upwards phase. So I'm the man who's got to start bringing him down again.
Yeah. And one thing you touched on there, which I actually had a question about, was his beating of young prospects. So in his last 2 fights, he's had decision wins over Felipe Lins and Tanner Boser. And I think watching the fight back, what he kind of does is he kind of really slows the pace down, and he kind of, nullifies the opponent, and kind of wins by just really slowing the fight down. How do you plan to nullify that conservative style?
Just keep him guessing. I think them two guys, from what I've seen, first of all, they're both very small heavyweights, them two.
Yeah.
I'm not a small heavyweight, so I think that plays a factor. Like, I've met Tanner Bolster a few times. He's a good guy, but he is really small for a heavyweight. So I think the intimidation, in my opinion, this is nothing against them two guys, because I've got a lot of respect for everyone, and I'm not like bad mouthing anyone. But I think they showed him way too much respect because of who he is. I think I've not seen the other guy fight much, Felipe Lins or whatever. But I've seen Tanner Bolster fight a few times, and he's good. And I think in that fight, he just didn't really do much. I don't know if the styles didn't gel properly or what, but he just didn't seem to have the same. I don't know. He just didn't have the same energy as he had against the other guys. From what I've seen, he didn't really go for it with him. He seemed to stand off. Maybe it's something Arlovski's done. I don't know. I'm going to find out when I'm in there, I guess.
But obviously the plan is to be on. I suppose as well, the two guys that he's fought previously are probably more volume guys, I would argue. You're maybe more of a power puncher.
Yeah, I guess so. I mean, a lot of people come up with assumptions of what my style really is, but at this point, luckily enough, no one really knows what I'm good at and what I'm not good at, really. I mean, I've got a lot of quick finishes, but that's it. But there's a lot of stuff that I can do that people haven't seen, especially like my opponents and stuff. So the more quick finishes I can get early on, the better it is for me. Like, if I finish this fight in 30 seconds, awesome. We'll keep doing that. Keep them guessing.
Yeah. That was one thing I want to touch on, actually, is you've had 9 wins in your career and 8 have been by first round knockout or TKO. I believe the other one was a first round submission, memory serves.
I don't know, to be honest. I don't go back through my record and look. I don't know. It's hard to tell because I had a lot of I've had a few pro fights that are not even on my record.
Oh.
I've had a few like I said, I'm not one to Google myself and start looking through that. But the last time I checked, it was he said I had 4 amateur fights, but I've had 9 amateur fights. And I don't even know. I've had that many fights now. I don't even really. But I definitely have more fights than it says.
Yeah. Well, let's even if we just stick to recency, I think you're on a 5-fight first round knockout streak, memory serves.
I couldn't tell you, but if you say it, we'll go with that. We'll go with that.
5-fight first round knockout streak. Can I ask, do you think you are do you have big KO power, or is it more a thing of timing and technique which gets you your finishes?
I don't believe that I have unbelievable power. Like someone like Ngannou or someone like that, I don't think I have that. I think, I do a thing that's the basic eye couldn't really see. So what I do is I make my opponents twitch. Then when they're twitching and they're not expecting the shots, that's when I let them. And I think if you're not an educated striker and you don't know what you're looking at, it just looks like I'm punching and they're falling over. But there's not a lot to it, but there's more to it than just me extending my arm and knocking someone out. Do you know what I mean? So, all the best coaches will tell you that the best shots are the ones that you don't see. So I try and make them not see it first, and then that's when I hit them. Every time I've ever knocked someone out, and I've knocked quite a lot of people out at this point, it's when I'm not supposed to knock them out. Do you know what I mean? It's when my arms are just very relaxed and I'm just flowing. And that, for me personally, that's my take on it. I don't know. Someone else might tell you different, but someone might say I am. But I've seen a lot of guys train, and I've seen a lot of people punch a lot harder than I do.
Yeah.
But I've got a lot more knockouts than they do. So, I think like you say, it's skill and technique that does it for me personally.
Yeah, I suppose it's a mixture of the two. I would agree with you, and I'm glad that you said that, because that's what would be my opinion, that your knockout are technique based, but as well, as we mentioned, you are 240 plus pound men hitting each other. It's chances are someone's going to go down if someone connects.
Yeah, I mean, them little gloves, they are dangerous, especially, like I said, big guy. That's what's so exciting. That's like, what's the phrase? It's the gift and the curse, isn't it?
Yeah.
So it's like, I can knock anyone out, but you can also get knocked out dead easy with them little gloves on as well, being a big guy. So it's, yeah, that's what makes it so exciting, I think.
It's why people gravitate towards the heavyweight division, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of shit out there in the heavyweight division, technique wise, but it doesn't matter because they can still turn your lights off in a second. So it doesn't. Technique's not as important in the heavyweight division as it is in the other divisions, because, like I say, one punch or one kick or whatever, and that can be you. Even if you're miles better than the guy, it doesn't really matter. So you got to stay humble, bro, in this division, because anything can happen.
Yeah, 100%. And that's what I wanted to touch on next. Was you are a very highly touted heavyweight prospect. I think the division needed a little bit of turnover for quite a long time, to be honest. And yourself, such as other names, such as the likes of a Cyril Gain, someone like that, kind of the new wave of heavyweight MMA. Does that come with any extra pressure at all? The how highly touted you are?
No, not really. At the minute, it's kind of weird because we're in a strange time, aren't we? It's like, I'm just living the same way as I was before I got in the UFC, exactly the same. Like, I just go to the gym and back. So I don't really go like around any public places, especially at the minute, because no one's open. So it's hard to really tell, apart from like social media and stuff, like how popular I am. So I honestly don't know at this point. I've not been anywhere public for like a frigging year or whatever it is. Yeah. So it's hard to tell how it's at the minute. I don't really, maybe if there was, a lot of people bigging me up and that all the time and stuff like that. But as far as I know, I just go to the gym and back, and I just don't really see it. So I don't really feel the pressure too much, because no one I see has changed, really. No one's really that bothered.
That might be, in a way, I never thought about that. That might be a blessing for young prospects coming up, especially, you've had all your fights post-COVID, if you like, or, during COVID. So them things that what you're talking about not having them extra, pressures or people stopping you and stuff like that, maybe help to relieve the pressure to a certain extent.
Yeah, I mean, it actually is going to work out pretty good for me, because I presume this next one's going to be in front of nobody as well. I mean, I don't know anything about that at this point, but so the first 3 will at least be in front of like 0 people. And then maybe my next one after this, or the one after that, will be like limited people probably. And then it's probably going to take a little bit of time before they build up to big crowds and stuff. So it's actually quite nice for someone like me. Fight in front of no one for a bit, then fight in front of like some people, and then build up, rather than just going from Cage Warriors to like 30,000 or whatever straight away. It's a nice little build up for me. But to be honest, I do thrive. Like when people are like loud and that, I love it. So, I don't know. We'd have to see, but I think it'll be a good little build up for me.
Yeah, 100%. And you just touched on the gym there, so I couldn't have you on without talking about it. One of the notable names out of Team Kaobon, such as teammates such as Mike Grundy and obviously Darren Till. How much has training in that gym improved your game?
I mean, that at this point, that's all I know, really. I've trained there since I was a kid. So obviously, I have been to other places, but it's been sparring or just drop in for a session in another place and stuff like that. It's never been like I've learned at other places or anything like that. So for me at this point, everything I know is down to my coach Colin and my dad, who's my coach as well. So I can't really compare it, mate. To be honest, I've not really got a great answer. But yeah, that's all I know. So I think it's good.
Okay, then I'll reframe the question a little bit. How good is the training that you get out of Team Kaobon, just personally?
I mean, in my opinion, there's nowhere better in the UK. In my opinion, for me, I'm not saying there's not better places out there for other people and stuff, but I mean, for me personally, I don't think there's anywhere that's better.
Yeah. And final question, Tom. I know we're both busy, so I'll get you out of here on this one. Give me a prediction for your fight on the 20th of February. What happens?
Oh, I don't know. You can never say in the heavyweight division. I reckon a late stoppage. I reckon I'll stop him late on, like halfway through the third. I reckon.
Halfway through the third.
I reckon I'll stop him with strikes halfway through the third.
Superb. Tom, thanks for coming on today. It was an absolute honour. Before we finish, how can people find you on social media?
They can go to @TomAspinall93 on Instagram, and that's it. I won't do any of the other stuff. Facebook, I'm on it, but I don't post nothing. I'll go on occasionally, and I don't do Twitter really. Twitter's not really my thing. It's a bit of an old man's thing, isn't it? Twitter. You can Instagram me. That's it.
Twitter, I think, is where Facebook users have migrated to a little bit.
Oh, really? I don't bother with it anymore. What? I used to be on Twitter, and then I think I forgot my password or something, so I don't really go on it. What's happening on there?
No, what I mean by that is I think Instagram is a slightly younger app, whereas Twitter is perhaps slightly older. The other thing is it's more web-based, isn't it? So it's more Instagram, probably easier to follow as a content thing.
Do like fighters have Snapchat these days, or is that just not? No.
Some of them will have it. I couldn't tell you one off the top of my head, but some of them will have it in their bio that you can add them on Snapchat. Yeah,
that's a bit weird. Sending dick pics. You got to be single on that. Because people go dirty too quick on that Snapchat, don't they? That's why I'm not on it. I stay off that Snapchat, mate. I think that you've got to be about 15 anyway to go on that, don't you?
I do have it. I do use it, but I know what you mean.
Maybe not. I was on it for about 2 weeks. Started getting loads of dick pics, so I just deleted it. I'm all right. I'm all right with Snapchat.
The trials and tribulations of being a UFC fighter.
Oh no, this was way before my UFC days. I was about 19. This is just some fucking weirdos on there. I just stay off Snapchat for me.
Snapchat was originally meant to be like a nude sharing website. It was the original name was Sneakaboo.
Was it really?
Yeah.
No, I don't stay away from dick pics, bro. That's not my not my scene. They're lethal, all them Snapchat ones, because they delete after a bit, don't they? Is that right? You send it and you view it and it's gone.
Oh yeah,
that's bad news. Is that right? Yeah, you open it and then it's gone then, isn't it? Unless you screenshot it. Yeah, you don't want that. Too many dick pics on that.
100%. And Tom, before we finish, is there anything you'd like to say or sign off with at all?
Just tune in. Watch the new breed of heavyweight. See what they can do. See if I'm any good or not. I'm fighting someone good. People say I've never fought anyone any good. Let's see if I'm any or not this time. Because now I'm fighting a future Hall of Famer, UFC heavyweight. So former champion. So I see a lot of people saying, "Oh, he's just fighting blah blah blah" or whatever. I'm not one to read too many comments if I can help it. But I see a few people saying, "Oh, he's not fighting anyone any good." Tune in then. Let's see if I'm any good. Brilliant. Enjoy it.
Brilliant. Can I ask, is it being confirmed? Is it on the prelims or is it on the main card?
Oh, I've no idea. I've absolutely no idea, to be honest. I don't know. I know there's a lot of heavyweights on the card, though. I think there's like 4 heavyweight fights, so that's good.
Yeah.
It's exciting. That's exciting. A couple of guys who I spoke to fight before are on there, so that's nice.
Who specifically? Is Spivak on there, I believe?
Yeah, he's on there. Mr. You don't want to fight me, that geezer. That guy don't want to fight me.
Do you know that I spoke to another UFC heavyweight, Jared Vandera?
Oh, he called me out, didn't he?
He called you out after he won, yeah.
Yeah, so we'll see what he says. That'll be interesting. What was he? I actually had no idea who he was. I know that's like thingy. I don't mean to like be a dick, but a few people was like tagging me in it. I was like, who's this geezer? And he called me out. Fair play to him. What was he saying? Did he bring me up on the
he basically mentioned like he feels that he actually give you compliments. Actually, he said that the guys such as yourself, I think he actually did mention Cyril Gain. I think our interview might have been before the Tanner Arlovski fight. So he mentioned that similar to yourself, there's a new wave of MMA, heavyweight MMA coming through, and he feels like he's part of that.
Happy days. There's a good few coming through. We've got like, obviously there's him. I've not seen too much of him, so I can't comment like on his skills or anything because I've honestly not seen him fight. So that's not me like, so I'm not trying to like dismiss him because I honestly don't know what he's like. There's that Cyril, Chris Dorcas. I don't know if you know him. He's fighting on the same card as me.
Who was that? Sorry,
Chris Dorcas. I think that's how you say his name.
Yeah.
Are you aware of him? I think he's like 2-0, I think. He fought on the same show as me last time as well, so I was pretty sure that they would match us up this time because I said after the fight that I'd like that fight, but they didn't match us up. So they offered me Spivak again, signed the contract, and he didn't sign. So then they offered me Arlovski, so I'll take that.
Jared also said that the reason why he wanted to fight Spivak, the reason why he called Spivak out after he won in the Contender Series, was because he signed to fight Spivak on the regional scene, and Spivak declined it as well. So I don't know if it's him. He didn't call him out. He said, I don't know if it's him or his management, but he does have a little bit of a tendency to maybe not accept.
I don't know. I've signed 3 contracts to fight him. 3 contracts. I've not fought him. So obviously, if I win my fight, which I'm intending to do, I'm going to be way above him anyway. So we'll see where it's all at. Anything happens in the heavyweight division, I'm not going to be like anything goes down. The heavyweight division is actually booming right now. So happy days.
It's booming, but it's to a certain extent it is still quite a shallow division, isn't it? So if you were prepared to, you could move up it pretty fast.
Yeah. Well, I used to always be like, I'm going to take my time and all that. Like, I'm just going to, what's the rush? I'm going to fight everyone anyway. And now I'm just like, you know what? I just want to make as much money as I can and then just retire. I used to always think I'd be fighting like way into my 40s. I don't want to fight into my 40s anymore. It's too dangerous. I'm going to get as many big fights as I can, move up the ladder quick, and then win the title and retire, I think. I don't know. Who knows? I change my mind every day, but right in this second, that's what I'm thinking. I'm going to... I seen a quote the other day, and it was like... I'm a bit of a quote one, because I always look at quotes and that. And it was... what was it now? It was something like... If you shoot for the moon and miss, it's better than shooting for the gutter and getting it, or something like that. I just thought, it's fucking good. That's a good one. It was something, I can't remember it word for word, but it was something like, if you shoot for the moon and don't get it, it's better than aiming for the gutter and getting it, or something like that. So, right up my street, that. Happy days. So that's what I'm doing.
Brilliant. I think that's a perfect way to end. So, Tom, thanks for coming on today.
Thanks, bro. Thanks for having me. Thank you.